darknet deception. The 3Ds, which are perhaps a huge cause for concern for us. We may have data privacy, we may have data protection, but what about those people who are using this privilege to try and push poison into society? That's the big challenge. The internet carries many applications, services including social media, electronic mail, mobile applications, multiplayer, online games, internet telephony, file sharing and streaming media. They carry all of it, many more. It's used as a source of knowledge, of enabling, empowering people, humanity, and also connecting the world through technology. But the internet, nearly 74% of it is dark, ladies and gentlemen. We don't know about it and we don't know what's going on, and there's a lot of aji-baji. This service today becoming a hub for drug trafficking, drug purchase, marketing, selling. It's become a market. It's become a darknet drugs market. A recent report by India Future Foundation reveals that the dark web and instant messaging services such as Telegram and other platforms are being rampantly used for drug trafficking. The report reveals that dark web and Telegram give easy access to drugs like LSD, heroin and cocaine. Let's try and look at the data. The dark web is a hidden part of the internet that's used to carry out illegal activities due to its anonymity and encryption features. The India Future Foundation, and this is the data report, highlights the convergence of the dark web and Telegram is a new challenge for law enforcement, saying they operate via hidden websites or marketplaces. Now, how they operate? What they also do is dark web is accessed via specific softwares like Tor, virtual marketplace for buying, selling of drugs. It provides for some protection for buyers and sellers. And online markets work like e-commerce platforms. Transactions are done via cryptocurrency, so it's difficult to trace the end receiver. Includes reviews, ratings, customer service. Transactions via cryptocurrency, like I said, like bitcoins are also used. Crypto increases the level of privacy of transactions. Let's tell you how encrypted platforms, social media messaging platforms which guarantee you your privacy are being used as quote-unquote an advantage as per the report. Confidential chats, self-destruction of the messages, they evade scrutiny from law enforcement agencies, difficult to track, can establish private groups, illegal operations can run conveniently, and Telegram also helps, platforms like Telegram also help traffickers in avoiding detection. Sellers work out deals and transact businesses, and that's how this dark web functions. We'll try and explain you through a flow chart. Let's try and look at it on the flow chart. How does it work? So there's an online marketplaces which are accessed. Postal or private couriers are there, the purchasers, and of course the dealers. So what happens is you use the encrypted platform, you use the darknet to place the order, push the order, and make the payment. You have postal or private couriers who send it to the purchasers. You have the dealers, the virtual currency kiosks, and of course money launderers and traffickers. So they all use the technology, they use the internet and platforms that give you privacy to poison society. And this is rampant in India, ladies and gentlemen. Recently, the Narcotics Control Bureau did bust two of the biggest or most highest star rated, 4-star and 5-star rated such services on the darknet. And they also caught huge amounts of LSD. They believe there are 3 such outfits. They will get the third one too. But this is not going to end here. So when technology, which is supposed to be a boon, turns into a bane, what do? Let's go across to Dr. G. Srikumar Menon, former Director General, National Academy of Customs, Excise and Narcotics. And Kanishk Gaur is also with us, cybersecurity expert and founder of India Future Foundation. So Kanishk, first to you, it's quite exhaustive, this entire research that you've done. But there is a very interesting term that you've coined. It's called the Silk Road. So take us through this whole concept of Silk Road.
Thank you, Anand. So what we have seen is, like we have e-commerce marketplaces, similarly on the dark web, we have got marketplaces where you can buy and sell drugs. Now these marketplaces have been evading law enforcement agencies, not only in India but globally. But lately we have seen there has been increased use of these marketplaces for selling and buying drugs, not only within India but outside India. So imagine you are somewhere outside India and you want to supply these drugs to somebody in India. These marketplaces are there. You can make the payment via cryptocurrencies like a Bitcoin or a Ethereum, and you can have this purchase and you can just buy it off the shelf. You will know what is the identity of the person from whom you are buying, because the dark web allows anonymity on both sides. So the buyer doesn't know who the seller is, and the seller doesn't know who the buyer is. Now, in this scenario, if we don't have intelligence agencies tracking the dark web, it is very difficult to find out who are the actors who are behind this. And this is done in an organized manner today. So what is the need of the hour is to have bodies like Narcotics Control Bureau and other law enforcement agencies keep a strong track of the dark web to see how these channels are working and monitor them. Plus, what is happening is a lot of this syndicate is moving not only from dark web, but it goes to messaging platforms such as Telegram, which offers complete anonymity, right? And you have disappearing messages where if somebody has sent a message, the message is not available. So the whole mafia is today operating using dark web and Telegram channels. And we have seen that increasingly more websites are giving people links from dark web to become part of Telegram groups and channels, where people can be anonymous on Telegram as well. So you don't need a mobile number today to be on Telegram. You can just have an email ID and you can be on Telegram and communicate with others. So the interesting part here is that today Telegram is turning out to be a platform which is propagating drugs and allowing people to sell and work in syndicates.
But G. Srikumar Menonji, if the darknet is being used so openly, so it need not be only for drugs, for other things too, and we are seeing that increasingly when we are catching these fundamentalists and these radicals. But when it comes to drugs, you can bust one network. What's the guarantee that they won't set up shop again? And how do you draw this line? Where do you draw the line between my right to privacy, my right to enjoy conversations which will not be in public domain, and stopping entities who are using this privilege as a means to poison society?
Good evening, Anand. Thank you. I saw the brochure that you had prepared. Let me first of all congratulate you and your team, and I think Mr. Kanishk also was involved in that preparation.
Well, it is his work. It is his foundation's work. We have just decided to put it there on national television. So it is Kanishk and his team who have done all the hard work.
Yeah. It's a superb report, very, very exhaustive. I don't think even any of our enforcement agencies has prepared such a report. Congratulations, Kanishk. Having said that, let me invite your attention to what the International Narcotics Control Board report of 2022 says. It says India is one of the most frequently listed countries in the world which is searched for darknet web transactions involving drugs. And according to their estimate, India has about 19 lakh amphetamine type stimulant users. And as per their figures, up to 2018, cocaine was also very high on the search list. Now, having said that, Anand, you should also appreciate that this is a very, very complex exercise, completely different from the normal enforcement work that you do, because you need 24/7 tracking of all these dark websites. For that, you require a big dedicated team, number one. Number two, simultaneously, you should have field operatives in readiness to go and strike. Now, this is a very, very, very complicated exercise. I mean, synchronizing both these two entirely different and diametrically opposite things. Right. And you must also not forget that most of the darknet sites, they operate only for a very short duration of time. After they disappear, they simply disappear. So, and then another point is cryptocurrencies are not illegal. See, they are legal in many countries. So, just because somebody has done a cryptocurrency transaction, it doesn't mean that there is some illegality in it. Correct. But when it involves drugs, it is a different kind of ball game altogether. But having said that, my very great concern is about the number of drug traffickers who are getting released on technicalities. In fact, today, Delhi High Court, August 17, 2023, if you see, 2 judgments have come out where they have gone because of the improper preparation of the seizure documents. See, these documents have been prepared by specialized agencies. And if they commit such cardinal mistake, see, it is not a very complicated thing that we are talking of.
Correct.
In fact, if you go to those judgments, it is very, very embarrassing. I don't know how anybody would justify that kind of a functioning. But all over the country, in fact, if you see the statistics, 90% of the PIT NDPS Act, that is the Preventive Detention Act's arrests have been made, and they have all been released on technicalities. Of course, technicalities, I am not in agreement with what the court's perception is, because my article is also live on your website.
Yeah.
When I have said that, mere technicalities like not giving the document in time, failure to give a translation copy, or not considering the representation, these are all very minor infractions, and the court should also take a lenient view because the affected people are in thousands and lakhs.
Correct, but the other thing is, Kanishk, if cryptocurrency is legal, so just like trading in cash is, trading in anywhere is, and if you use it for the wrong means, then you're wrong. But there are also a huge number of buyers who are getting on board. That means dealers will only enter a market and they will thrive only if there is an active market for it consumption. That's also a concern. How are these people getting onto the darknet so easily? How are they trading, transacting there so easily? Is there any way to curb this?
So it's very difficult to find out on the dark web who is transacting for what purpose. Whether he is buying drugs, whether he is buying arms and ammunition, or he is buying something else. Because catching the money trail, it's very difficult. And today we have platforms which allow people to invest in cryptocurrencies by getting a simple wallet, right? And you can get the wallet created and buy, sell any kind of cryptocurrencies and use them. Only thing the financial ministry, the Ministry of Finance is monitoring is how much profit are you making, and you are supposed to pay tax. But the whole aspect of using it for any kind of illegal activities, whether it is, buying drugs, selling drugs, or even creating a marketplace on the dark web for letting such transactions happen, nobody is monitoring. So what is needed now is stronger monitoring mechanisms and more power to bodies like Narcotics Control Bureau, not only to track and monitor in the offline, the physical world, but monitor transactions on dark web and also some of these messaging platforms, right? A lot of these messaging platforms do not share intelligence with Indian law enforcement agencies when they reach out, right? Be it location, what kind of information is being communicated, all of that is anonymized today. So that's something which is the need of the hour, and our own law enforcement agencies need to be trained technically to handle such cases.
Right.
A lot of times when cases are presented in the court, it is difficult for people who don't understand technology to explain the legal recourse mechanisms or how the evidence have been collated to the judiciary. So the presenting of the evidence in the court and the acceptance of that's which is the need of the hour. So more technical evidence is presented, and whatever forensic investigation has been carried out, that stands in the court. We also need to tighten our IT laws. We have come up with a data protection bill, but we need to tighten our IT laws to ensure there is strict punishment. More people are actually behind bars, because people who get behind some of these are today just been using old laws. So we have seen that laws have changed.
So it's taken time. DPDP is in place, but there are going to be comprehensive acts that will come in the following months. That's the assurance we had from our Union Minister Rajiv Chandrasekharji when I asked him about these laws and how are we going to tighten it further. And he said that there is a comprehensive architecture and framework that's being made to secure our digital data space and also punish the offenders. Kanishk Gaur, great work on the research and the report. And Srikumar Menonji, always a pleasure speaking with you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Getting a move on, ladies and gentlemen, to the political debate of the day. And the story comes from the northeast of our country, the state of Assam, which is